Can you be over and underrated at the same time? Cowboys fans seem to think so. Are you?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I could see that with you. Or overrating aspects and underrating aspects.
Mm-hmm.
You can have that sort of conflict. Let's talk about it in Below the Bell, which is sponsored by Academy Sports and Outdoors and Window Nation. All right, so before we go to the rest of this survey that we had started doing yesterday, The Athletic did their fan survey where they asked basically state of the team and questions to fans and got 1,300 responses. I wanted to look back and see, all right, what were some of the answers if there were any similar questions back the last time they did this survey? And the last time they did it was July, so it was heading into training camp. And some of these answers, when you look back on it, it's like, whew, we got some bad receipts here. So I'm going to go through some of the answers they gave to these questions back in July, and then we're going to pick up with the rest of the survey that we started yesterday. If you could only re-sign one of these 2026 unrestricted free agents right now to a team-friendly deal, who would it be? And it was Bland, Ferguson, Sam Williams, or George Pickens. And Bland was the runaway winner over George Pickens. George Pickens got 31% of the votes. You also had, which one of these new assistant coaches will make the biggest positive impact this season? And they listed all the new assistants. The runaway winner with more than 50% was Matt Eberflus over Clayton Adams, Connor Riley, guys like that. Who's the team's most overrated player? That'd be one Dak Prescott. Who's the team's most underrated player? That'd be one Dak Prescott. But number 2 was Deron Bland. So Bland, people, everybody wanted to sign. Bland was the most underrated. You got a lot of votes for Kevontae Turpin as the most underrated. I did think it was funny who will lead the team in rushing yards back last July. The winner, by a decent margin, was Jaden Blue, which didn't end up happening. But you now take a look at where the fan base is whatever it is, 7 months later. And they were asked similar questions over at The Athletic. And the first one, who is the Cowboys' most overrated player? Who do you think it is? And this was a runaway.
Dak?
No.
It's not Lamb. O-line.
It's somebody I think you might suggest.
Bland?
Deron Bland, who was the runaway winner, and who do you want to sign? Who's behind Dak? He was the next highest one getting votes on who's the most underrated.
Yeah.
He got 232 votes. Next closest was Dak with 132. Then you have Jake Ferguson behind him there. CeeDee Lamb, which there does feel like, I don't know if it's just the Pickens love, but there does feel to be like there's a little bit of ungratefulness for CeeDee Lamb, I feel like, lately.
Agreed.
And then just behind that, another guy who was on the most underrated list in July, Kevontae Turpin. All right, now who is the most underrated player on the Dallas Cowboys at this point?
Most underrated?
Mm-hmm.
And this was taken when?
February 3rd through the 8th.
Floney.
Very close. He's second.
I'll still say Dak.
Dak Prescott is number. So you have a good year. Yep. Some of the haters go away. You got there, but behind Ryan Flanoy's that I kind of eliminate Dak from these questions because it's like, there's just so much intensity around it. People are going to have those answers. But so after that, it's Flanoy with 111 votes. Cooper Beebe was next. Which maybe he is underrated just by the fact that when I saw him, I'm like, that's the name that people came up with?
Yeah.
But you also had Javonte Williams, Tyler Smith, Jake Ferguson, and DeMarvion Overshown.
And before you leave Dak, he did a little quick Q&A with Diana Rossini in Cali.
The most iconic player of all time is?
Tom Brady.
The player I never got the chance to face but want to.
Ray Lewis.
Playing in the NFL taught me how to
be resilient.
The strongest part of my game right now is
mental.
My favorite play to run is
all goes.
My best friend in the NFL is
Jake Ferguson.
The best celebration in the NFL right now is
anything CeeDee does.
Interesting. That's not just who's my best friend on the team. That's who's my best friend in the NFL. And it's young Jake Ferguson already. He loves his tight ends. We heard Dalton Schultz at 720.
Yes, he does.
He will get you paid if you're a tight end.
Yeah, he will. The go route is. I mean, that's the
all goes.
Yeah, all goes. Send it all deep. Which I mean, that's kind of what they did.
Any
last
quarterback
year.
with a remote arm. That's probably their answer.
All right,
baby.
Some of the other survey answers here. Dallas had one of the NFL's worst defenses in 2025, and this is the Athletics fan survey. What will it be in 2026? And your options were about the same, a little better, middle of the pack, or top 10. What do you think? And then I'll tell you what the fans think.
Right, so top 10, what else?
It's top 10, middle of the pack, a little better, or about the same.
A little better.
I don't know that I can go any higher than a little better.
The overwhelming
They're going to say middle.
The
Middle of the
overwhelming
pack.
winners, middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Optimism. 64%, followed by 27% for a little better. 4.5% of people out there think that top 10 defense is incoming. That's a lot of Christian Parker hype, it sounds like. How many more years will Dak Prescott be the quarterback of the Cowboys? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 or more.
How old is he? 30.
I'll say 3.
He's 32.
Maybe.
He'll be 33 during training camp.
I was thinking 3.
I'll say
That was my
3.
initial thought.
Yeah, move on.
When this contract's up, but they're going to extend him.
You guys are in sync. It's 3. 3 years is the winner, 37%. Then it's 4 years, 2 years, more than 5, and then just barely 1% is 1 year. All right, next one. What are your expectations for the Cowboys in 2026? They'll be worse, about the same, they'll at least make the playoffs, or legitimate Super Bowl contender?
I'll say about the same.
I'll say at least make the playoffs. I mean, people are definitely going to have them in the playoffs, and I would say they would be a little bit better.
Improvement.
So the top answer, 65%, is they'll at least make the playoffs. Then it's about the same. And then you've got, again, legitimate Super Bowl contender, 5%. That 5%. I think this is a good scale for us to be able to go, what percentage of the fan base are just the blindest
Delusional.
illusionals?
5%.
Yeah, because we've got plenty of negative Nancys in the fan base who are just like, it'll never be good. But about 5% on all these answers. The most ridiculous answer is about 5% every time. And then they'll be worse is 2%. I just don't know how that's possible is the problem.
Well, what's possible is that the offense is not as good.
Yes, that could
The
happen.
offense can regress, and you can have, quarterback injury knock on.
All right, and this is the last question on here, and this is the one that I wanted to spend the most time on because I think this is fascinating to see. And we had asked a similar question when we did Cowboys fan confidence survey, I think back in November. And it was the question of, will Jerry Jones see another Super Bowl during his time with the Cowboys? And I want to say it was 5% said yes, something like that. And previous years with the athletic survey, when a question's been asked like this, I think it's hovered around 10. This year, with 1,300 responses, almost 25% of people said that Jerry will see a Super Bowl.
What? Well, look at that shoddy belief.
That's what it is, right? That's got to be just people are drinking Schottenheimer Kool-Aid.
But to that degree?
Or is it the same sort of thing as when we approached the Rangers? Where it's like their pitching staff's so good, and so 25% of people are like, man, if the defense is just kind of good, they'll be there.
Yeah.
They'll be there. And so
that's what I think it probably is.
But the problem is that you're never going to have, or you in all likelihood are not going to have that run of health again from Dak. Just because the older you get as a quarterback, the more hits you start taking. Now, if the league keeps protecting quarterbacks and doing more to get in the way of that, maybe that gets in the way to some extent and can extend his career some. I mean, I think that's why quarterbacks started playing deeper and deeper. But that feels like a very positive tint towards Jerry that the fan base does not typically have. And I don't know what would have changed at the end of last season. Were they just encouraged by the way they handled the defensive coordinator hire? You didn't you fired Eberflus relatively quick, and you let Schottenheimer pick it, so they think maybe things are changing?
It's hard to say that. I mean, it's hard to make any judgments on the defense just based off of that, because, I mean, personnel, we don't know what the personnel difference is going to be. I mean, right now it's the same team.
Yeah.
Jerry says bust the budget. We'll get into that later.
He did, so I didn't want to jump into that. So I've got like 2 minutes left here, so I wanted to work in one of my favorite suggestions from last week. From leftist CNN. CNN. You know, they always go, shut up and dribble or stick to sports
That's
or
Fox.
whatever. Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying in general, you know the saying, shut up and dribble, stick to sports, all that.
Yeah.
Generally, whenever I see NPR or somebody going on the Super Bowl, I'm just thinking like, okay, stick to legislation. I don't need you coming up here asking dorky questions. But CNN did not ask the worst question. They were talking about, they looked at things and they said, all right, the surge in kicking success rate that has made Hall of Famers like Adam Vinatieri look like they're nothing in retrospect.
Did you catch a ton of heat for that, by the way?
A little bit.
People argued.
Calvin Watkins did not like it.
Oh.
And Calvin's a voter, so I assume he put him in. But they went up to kickers and special teams players at the Super Bowl and said, all right, here's our idea of raising the stakes for field goals. Doinks are now worth 4.
Oh, so you get bonus points for a doink.
So if you are down 4, it could create some drama.
Oh, baby.
You're down 4, you go, all right, aim this. See if you can, you will have kickers trying this
It would
every
be
now and then.
amazing television.
I think it might be a little too
a little
too campy and quirky, but I kind of like that because I think you would start seeing kickers trying to do it and you'd get more misses on stuff that they shouldn't miss.
Well, I don't think they're going to try it unless you're down 4.
Right.
Unless you've got
or you're at 3. Yeah, I don't think it comes unless it's like a desperate onside situation.
Well, Bones Fossil would be doing this immediately.
Does crossbar count?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it hits the bar
What
and
if
goes
it hits
in.
both?
Oh, they didn't say anything about the double doink. I assume that's 8 points then.
Has to be, right?
But I think for like
Who brought this up?
CNN had brought this up, and they just went around, and there were some special teamers who were like,
Fitness.
I might try. But I could definitely see some of these kickers just being like, I'm practicing hitting it off the upright now and seeing how I can do it.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, if the first game we got that ended where it's a 3-point deficit, they're like, we're going for 4, and they win, oh my gosh.
Below.
D-Bell.